Moving on to the Dallas region, we have Baylor as the #1 seed, Texas A&M the #2 seed in the region, also from the Big 12. Connor, how do you see this part of the bracket playing out?
Well, I'm happy to get a chance to give some of my own analysis this time. We're in the Dallas region, that's the bottom right corner of your bracket. I think Baylor and Texas A&M, both Big 12 teams, moving on through their brackets to the Elite Eight, where they'll meet for a 4th time this season. Baylor has already defeated Texas A&M 3 times, and it might sound boring, but I see the chalk holding. I see Baylor beating Texas A&M for a 4th time. Baylor's just going to be too much down low with Brittany Griner. That's someone that people, I think, even as casual basketball fans of the women's game, might recognize that name. But yeah, Baylor's going to have a tough time, maybe with Green Bay, a hot team, 32-1 in the Horizon League this year. But I really don't see them winning a game by fewer than 5 points along the way. Texas A&M, I also don't see them having much trouble. I have them meeting Georgia in their Sweet 16 game, but again, could these games be close at halftime? Sure, but I think Texas A&M and Baylor will move rather easily into an Elite Eight matchup.
There you have it from the Sports Editor. Let's take it up to the big screen for a more detailed analysis.
Alright, now we're in the bottom right-hand corner of your bracket in the Dallas region. The #1 seed here is Baylor, led by, of course, Brittany Griner. No problem in the 116 matchup there. Moving on. Houston, West Virginia. I like West Virginia, the Big East team in this matchup. They play stymie defense. I'm advancing them to the 2nd round. I'm also going with the chalk in the Green Bay, Arkansas, Little Rock game. Arkansas, Little Rock is 12-0 in its last 12, but Green Bay is going to be too much. And then Northern Iowa, the men pulled off a big upset in their bracket last year, knocking off Kansas, but I don't see that happening. The equivalent in the 13-4 here in the women's bracket in 2011, advanced Michigan State. So brackets holding in the top half of Dallas, except for West Virginia over Houston.
Go. All right.
All right, now in the bottom half, in the 1st round, I'm expecting the chalk to hold. So I've got Georgia over Middle Tennessee. I've got Florida State going over Stanford. Rutgers over Louisiana Tech, and Texas A&M over McNeese State. I don't really expect any of these games to be too close. They say in the women's game, and it might be a generalization, that the chalk tends to hold more so in the men's than in the men's tournament, but I expect it to be very much so the case in the bottom half of Dallas. Now, you're looking at these matchups in the 2nd round for chances to go to the Sweet 16. You've got Rutgers and Texas A&M here at the bottom. I'm advancing Texas A&M. Georgia and Florida State, the 3 versus the 6. I'm going to go ahead and go with the upset here. I like Georgia over Florida State. Now with Baylor, West Virginia here at the top, Baylor's going to be my Final Four pick. I'm not going to have them being knocked out by West Virginia. I do like West Virginia to keep this game closer than many are going to expect it to be, just because they allow close to 60 points a game. They're going to keep Brittany Griner at bay as far as on the offensive end, but she's going to be too much to handle down low on defense. West Virginia's going to have a tough time scoring points, and Green Bay, Michigan State, this one is going to be very tight. I like Green Bay. They've only lost 1 game all season, a 32-1 team out of the Horizon Conference. Expect them to meet Baylor in the Sweet 16. Now, in terms of this Sweet 16 matchup here between Baylor and Green Bay, I already gave away Baylor as my Final Four pick, so I'm not expecting them to falter against Green Bay. Georgia, Texas A&M, the other Sweet 16 matchup in the Dallas region. You've got an SEC team in Big 12. Texas A&M is going to advance past Georgia. I'm going to go 1 and 2 in the Elite Eight matchup here in Dallas. Elite Eight matchup in Dallas, you can see I've advanced Baylor to the Final Four. Baylor and Texas A&M have met 3 times already, both being in the Big 12. Texas A&M has lost all 3 times. They're going to lose a 4th time. Baylor is going to advance, and that's going to leave us with Baylor here in Dallas in the Final Four, along with Notre Dame, DePaul, and Stanford. So you've got Notre Dame and DePaul matching up in one semifinal, Baylor and Stanford in the other.